Okay, hello everyone. We're so excited you are all here. Today we will guide you through this incredible 23-day South Africa journey. And we've brought along two very special guests who are going to bring the trip to life in a way no brochure can. Get comfortable, grab something to drink, and let's explore South Africa together, shall we? Before we dive in, let me quickly walk you through what we have planned for today. We're going to take you through the full journey, destination by destination, with Heather, who unfortunately couldn't have joined us today, but she sent us a short video, and our local guide, Iggy, joining the conversation along the way. So you'll be hearing from people who have actually been on the ground. We'll cover everything from Cape Town and the Garden Route all the way to Victoria Falls and Chobe National Park in Botswana. And we'll wrap up with the pricing, departure dates, and plenty of time for your questions. If something comes up while we're talking, drop it in the chat and we'll make sure we get to it. The whole webinar should run about 50 to 60 minutes, so let's get started. Please note that for this webinar, cameras and microphones are disabled for all attendees. You're welcome to submit any tour-related questions using the Q&A feature or the chat option, and the recording of the webinar will be sent to all the registrants. Before we dive in, let us quickly introduce the host and our guests for today. My name is Piotr, and I'm the marketing manager at Craig Travel. I've been in the industry for over 13 years, and I lived in 3 different countries, and I visited 70 countries, and I'm always excited to talk about travel.
Hi, everyone. I'm Lisa Guiotto. I'm the sales manager at Craig Travel. I was born and raised in Italy, and travel has always been a big part of my life. I've now worked in the travel industry for over 20 years. I sound old, in different roles and areas of the business. This led me to live abroad for many years before landing here in Toronto back in 2014. As Piotr mentioned, we are here today to walk you through an amazing departure led by Craig Travel journey leader Heather. She's currently traveling, as Piotr mentioned, and was hoping to join us live today, but a last-minute itinerary change on her tour made that impossible. So she kindly sent us a short video instead, where she will introduce herself and share a little bit more about her background and experience.
Hi everyone, my name's Heather Patnode and I'm going to be the journey leader for our trip to South Africa in October. Craig Travel asked me to introduce myself, so just a few quick things. I've had careers in university advancement, followed by pharmaceutical sales, and then of course in my pre-retirement years, I love travel so much I got into becoming a Canadian tour guide and I lead tours coast to coast. That's why I'm not live with you today. I'm actually out doing a tour of the Rocky Mountains as we speak. But I love to travel. I have been to over 55 countries and I'm still counting. And I have been to South Africa. I went about 7 years ago and I fell in love with the country. It is so diverse, so culturally interesting, so beautiful that I know you are going to love this trip. We visit some incredible cities. I fell in love with Cape Town, its beauty, the drive along the Cape Peninsula, down the coastal drive to the Cape of Good Hope. It's absolutely breathtaking. Later in the trip, we go to another big city, cosmopolitan city, Johannesburg, or Joburg as they like to call it. Very different energy, a little bit more edgy. And then of course, places with the history like Soweto and Pretoria, just incredible cities, very diverse. I think it's that diversity I like so much about South Africa and its beauty. As we make our way across the country, we see so many different landscapes. They're always changing. Some of the highlights for me on my tour, I love crossing over to the border or the kingdom of Swaziland or Eswatini, visiting the rural villages and learning a bit about the Zulu tribal customs through dance and music. That was really, really interesting. And of course, I love the multiple visit to the game parks. You really feel at home with these magnificent animals. It's hard to explain. I know it will be a highlight on the trip for many of you. It's a once in a lifetime experience. Take my word for it. And the photos that you will go home with will be incredible. The other thing that I remember about South Africa, and it's hard to explain, but it's the quality of light. As soon as you arrive in South Africa, something's different, something's more intense. The blueness of the sky, it's very sharp and clear and crisp. It's just extraordinary. And there is some scientific reason for it. But as far as I'm concerned, it's just the magic of South Africa. And I'll be interested to see if you feel the same way once you've spent a couple of days in the country. So each of you are going to have some favorite moments. I have shared a few with you on mine. We will share our stories together because that's part of group travel, and I think it's one of the nicest parts of group travel as we get to know each other. So I'm really excited about taking you on this tour. And of course, with our guide, our South African guide, who knows his country well, who will be doing all the tour guiding, I think we're in very good hands. If you need, Craig Travel had asked me just to explain a bit my role as a journey leader for some of you that are new. And it is a little bit different, and it's a bonus as far as I'm concerned that Craig Travel offers you, because you have your dedicated tour guide, which is Iggy in this case, and then you have me, who's the journey leader, and my role is really to assist you in any way I can to make it a seamless, carefree travel experience for you. So in a way, I guess I'm kind of like an escort, where I'm, looking after your health and well-being throughout the entire tour. So I'll also assist Iggy if he needs me to with reservations for the hotels, restaurants, some of our local outfitters, etc. Wherever he might need help, I'll be doing that behind the scenes as well. But I'm with you all the way from greeting you at the airport, flying over the entire trip, and flying back to Toronto all together. So we're going to get to know each other pretty well. And I think that you're really going to enjoy the tour. And having me as sort of your journey leader, escort, whatever you would like to say, gives you a certain confidence. I think that you're going to be in very good hands. I promise you, you're going to be in very good hands. And you can just sit back and enjoy your trip. So I will be in touch with you about a week before the tour starts to answer any of your questions. And then we'll all meet in Toronto on October 19th, which is about 3 months away. And I really can't wait to share the experience with you and meet you. And we're all going to love our trip to South Africa. So look forward to seeing you soon, and keep well till then. Bye for now.
Amazing. Thank you, Heather. If you're watching us or going to watch the recording later, that was a great introduction. And we are also thrilled to be joined by our local guide who's literally on the ground in Southern Africa. Iggy, thank you so much for being here. And we know it's not always easy to bridge the time zones. Can you introduce yourself and give us a quick sense of what it is or what it means to guide travelers through this part of the world?
Yeah, thank you, Piotr. So my name's Iggy, it's short for Ignatius, and I'm a national guide in Cape Town, based in Cape Town, but I do the whole country essentially. And I've been in the industry for probably the last 20 years or so, on and off in different sort of segments of the market, cultural as well as safari, and later on doing more of these longer sort of bus tours. That's how I started working for Craig Travel, I think about 4 years ago. It's been an absolute pleasure to work with your company, Piotr, and Lisa. And a big part of what makes the journey so special is actually someone like Heather, who you just introduced. And I think she undersells herself a little bit. They are an absolutely amazing and vital part of a team, even though a lot of the things are in the background and it's sort of soft touches. It wouldn't be the success that it is without the tour leaders. So it's always been a pleasure to work with Craig Travel, to work with Canadians, as well as anyone else coming from anywhere else in the world, and especially with your very, very good journey leaders. So I look forward to meeting Heather. She looks like a lovely lady, and I'm excited to take everyone through South Africa. For me, it's it's an honor and it's a privilege to be able to show the country. I perhaps do it maybe a little bit different to how other tour leaders might do it. It's a lot more conversational versus lecturing. We open up the bus often for questions. I'm aware, a lot of the questions sort of revolve around perhaps when it's not animals, around the social structures of South Africa, medical, teaching and so forth. So over the years, I've kind of honed the skill to open it up to the bus. So I think in short, what I'm saying is it's a journey of discovery for all of us, including myself. And it's a very sort of honest and open conversations in the bus. And I think that's what makes it a little bit more raw and authentic. So I hope I didn't oversell myself a little bit. But if I do see in October, it's going to be an absolute pleasure to take you around the country.
Perfect. Thank you, Iggy.
Thank you. Amazing, Iggy. And we're so excited to have you and Heather on our tour. Now, for those who may not know who we are, I like to take a moment to introduce Craig Travel. So Craig Travel is a family-owned Canadian company with more than 55 years of experience in the travel industry. We specialize in small group journeys and carefully plan itinerary that balance culture, adventure, and comfort. We work closely with trusted partners around the world, and we support our travelers before they leave and while they are away. At the heart of everything we do is creating meaningful traveling experience and taking care of our clients throughout the whole journey. Well, what does traveling with Craig Travel look like? Our groups are small. We're a maximum of 25 travelers, creating a more personal experience. Each journey is supported by an experienced journey leader and local guides, as you just saw. We take care of the planning, logistic, transfers, and many meals, so our travelers can really relax and enjoy the experience. Our trips are also designed with mature Canadian travelers in mind, with the right balance of comfort, pace, and support. And now, here we go. Let's talk about South Africa. This is a 23-day journey departing on October 19, led by Heather. The journey combines the beauty, wildlife, and culture of South Africa with two incredible highlights, Victoria Falls and the Chobe National Park. It's a wonderful mix of scenery, wildlife, culture, and unforgettable experience. I would truly call this trip of a lifetime, as Heather mentioned. Truly, along the way, you will enjoy 42 included meals and travel in a small group of just 16 guests. This creates much more personal experience with easier wildlife viewing, more meaningful interaction with local community, and the flexibility to truly immerse yourself in each destination.
Thank you, Lisa. What I love about this itinerary is the pace. You never feel rushed. You are not jumping from place to place every single day. You have 4 nights in Cape Town, 2 nights in Knysna, 2 nights in Kruger, 2 nights in Chobe. Real time to soak it all in. Before we explore the destinations in more detail, here's a short 1-minute video offering a glimpse of what you can expect on this extraordinary journey.
Wow, amazing. Let's dive in. So we spent 4 wonderful nights in Cape Town, a truly unique city with an incredible setting. Table Mountain rises more than 1,000 meters above the city, with the Atlantic Ocean nearby and the UNESCO protected natural ecosystem surrounding it.
Yes, and what I love about 4 nights is that you have time to exhale. You arrive from a long flight, you spend your first morning relaxing, and then you have 3 full days to explore. Cape Town rewards a slow approach. There's so much to discover in every neighborhood. Iggy, what's one of the things that consistently surprises first-time visitors? And where do you love to take groups on that first evening?
Thanks, Piotr. So as you said, Cape Town is to relax, and you've just come off of a long flight. So 4 nights is absolutely perfect. We try and as you mentioned also in the whole itinerary, we try not to rush you from place to place. I think the main idea is to get more quality of time spent at certain areas than trying to whisk you away from one place to the next. So I think the biggest surprise is really when you do land, you land quite late at night. So I believe it's 10 p.m. So obviously it's dark. We drive into Cape Town. It's about 25-minute drive. And you have no idea what Cape Town looks like. You go to bed and we let you sleep in the next morning. But when you open your curtains, you're just met with the most amazing mountains behind your hotel. And other than that, the natural beauty, which I feel is a big surprise, and it's a beautiful thing to see. A lot of people don't realize actually the quality of food. So quality of food and the quality of the wine and everything else and the price of it is something that for me consistently is said to be a big point, you know. And it's not just that it's affordable, it's actually the high quality of it. So, you know, other than the things you can see in the brochure and which you expect to see, but still takes your breath away, I think the one thing that people don't really realize is how good the quality of food is in Cape Town.
Perfect. Thank you, Iggy. The Cape Peninsula is a day trip that is very extraordinary. In a single day, you move from a botanical garden that is literally on the UNESCO World Heritage List to watching wild penguins waddle around on the beach to standing at the dramatic tip of Africa looking at two oceans melting.
Yes, and Piotr, let me tell you, the penguins are something special. They're actually my favorite animals. I will even say they're my spirit animals. African penguins are endangered species, and getting them to see them in their natural habitat is a privilege. And then there's a drive along Chapman's Peak, one of the most spectacular coastal drives you can imagine. The views are so dramatic that it almost feels unreal. So, Iggy, let me ask you, what is the Boulders Beach moment like?
So Lisa, I think you touched on it quite nicely. It's a cherry on the cake for the day. It's a beautiful drive. Chapman's Peak Drive is probably one of the most beautiful coastal drives in the world. And the botanical gardens and everything else along the way, the thing really is just a cherry on the top for that day. And to your question, I think it puts a smile on people's face. So whatever that means to them, or however they got that smile, whether it's because it's their spirit animal like you, or they just look comical, you know, on a beach.
Yeah.
I think the number one thing is probably it brings a lot of happiness and joy into people's lives. And you know, it's an odd experience to see a penguin on a beach, you know, with the water splashing behind it. So it's quite a unique experience. Most people, most of our travelers with Craig Travel, very savvy and world travelers. You know, they've been to many places. Many probably been to Antarctica before, so it's quite a unique experience for them too. So yeah, it's a phenomenal day out, and like I said, it's just the cherry on the top.
Amazing. Wow, that sounds amazing, really. Now, after Cape Town, the journey turns inland through one of the most beautiful wine regions in the world, really. Stellenbosch is just gorgeous. And we're not just doing a quick tasting, we're doing a full cellar tour with lunch. You really understand the wine at a different level after that. So, Iggy, what makes South African wines unique compared to what our travelers may know perhaps from European wines?
Well, you know, I know it's not that easy to get South African wines into Canada. So it comes at a surprise how high the quality is. And I think again we talk about prices a lot. And in this particular case, it's not to take away from the quality of the wine. It is incredible how affordable it is compared to, you know, many of its counterparts in America. We're talking about red wines that are in the same category as Opus One in terms of Cabernet blends in the world. And then also on top of that, I think something that's quite unique to us is Pinotage, which is maybe not a wine variety that people have heard about before, but it is quite unique to South Africa, and it forms part of the Cape Blend, which is much like your Bordeaux blends, except we just replace Cabernet Franc with Pinotage. So there's all these little sort of surprises along the way. I feel that maybe the whole area is really what is the draw card. The mountains, the vineyards, the beautiful Cape Dutch architecture, as well as a little town where we'll stop and we'll give you some time to walk around the town. I know maybe we don't compare too much about your neighbors at the moment, but something like Carmel in California perhaps is something that it's quite relatable to. So it's a small, quaint little town where we'll give you some time to shop, where after you do a salad tour, really high quality, beautiful lunch with the mountains in the background afterwards. And then we head inland, and there's more wine tasting along the way, but just of a different variety.
Oh, Iggy, I
So
think like you
you'll be
sold
having
it.
enough wine.
Yeah, enough. Great.
You sold it so well that I think I'm just gonna go to a local LCBO after the
Yes.
webinar and get myself a bottle of red wine from South Africa. Now this is
Definitely,
it. That's
definitely.
gonna be my new thing. Well, after the winelands, we crossed the mountains into the little Karoo, where the scenery changes dramatically. The semi-arid region is known for its wide open landscapes, rugged mountain ranges, unique vegetation, and endless blue skies. I think that's the kind of blue skies that Heather was talking at the very beginning. The Oudtshoorn, often called the ostrich capital of the world, is a fascinating town. During the ostrich feather boom of the late 1800s and early 1900s, feathers were one of the world's most fashionable luxury items, creating immense wealth for local farmers. You can still see the magnificent sandstone feather palaces they built as a testament to that prosperous era. You will visit a working ostrich farm to learn more about these remarkable birds and discover why they continue to be such an important part of the region's heritage. And then we followed the garden route, which is one of those places that truly lives up to its reputation. Stretching along South Africa's spectacular southern coastline, it's where dramatic mountains, ancient forests, pristine lagoons, and the Indian Ocean come together to create some of the country's most beautiful scenery. We spent 2 nights in the charming town of Knysna, nestled between a stunning lagoon and lush forest, giving you time to really enjoy the relaxed pace of this remarkable region. Along the way, we visit the remarkable Congo caves, where extraordinary limestone formations have been sculpted over millions of years. Some of the vast underground chambers are nearly 100 meters high, creating an awe-inspiring natural cathedral beneath the earth. We also explore Birds of Eden, the world's largest free flight bird sanctuary, home to more than 220 species, flying freely within 2.3-hectare domed rainforest.
Now, nature continues to be a big part of the journey as we visit Tsitsikamma National Park, known for its beautiful coastline, ancient forest, and famous suspension bridge over the Storms River. We also enjoy a walk through Kruger National Reserve with amazing coastal views and dramatic cliffs along the way. We end the day with a glass of bubbly while watching the sunset. So, Iggy, what's the most underrated stop on the garden route, the one that travelers, always say they wish they had spent more time at?
Well, that Robert Nature Reserve, but I think that's a little bit bubbly talking. That's maybe just all the champagne. But yeah, look, I mean, just to paint a picture of how you go from Oudtshoorn, which is the ostrich area, into the garden route. It's separated by a mountain, and you in a desert one moment, and an hour and a half later, you're in a beautiful green garden route. So as you cross over the mountain with that fog that hits the mountains from the coastline, everything changes. And we get to a beautiful town called Knysna. And from Knysna, I feel that people always wish, they could stay, another couple of nights, maybe even two
Yeah.
nights. But at the same time, that's a common theme throughout the trip. And I feel that in such a long trip, it's a good thing to have. You know, if you can stop at every single place and wish you could have stayed longer, that's what you want out of a trip. So yeah, Knysna, the town itself, is an opportunity for you to either take the morning at leisure, sleep in a little bit, walk around the harbour, or just sort of just relax around the pool, or it is a boat cruise around the harbour also, which is quite a special event which you pre-book before you even come on the trip. But yeah, I would say people really enjoy Knysna. They wish, and I might be wrong, but we can hear from some previous travelers that maybe that's a time they could have spent some more time in Knysna itself. But you know, we got places to go and people to see. So yeah, it's one of those things. You know, we try and spend quality time at everything as much as possible. So yeah. Birds of Eden also, that's also something that sounds a little bit odd from the outside. The world's largest free flight sanctuary, 220 bird species. It does sound like a bit of a sort of touristy kind of trap, but I promise you it's the one thing that people always, you know, extend the time on. We think we're going to be out there in 2 hours and we get out there in 2 hours 45, you know, because it's such an incredible special place, and it's quite an underrated stop on our route, and it's probably my highlight for that section.
Amazing. Well, thank you for sharing. Now, this slides, I always love sharing it because it speaks to what Craig Travel is about. We believe travel should also reach, right? Not just the traveler, but the communities we visit. So when we visit Theodora Crèche, I think that's the correct pronunciation. Correct me if I'm wrong. In something shifts in the group. So we've been, you know, taking in these incredible natural landscapes and wildlife. And then you sit down with the people who actually live and work in this community, right? You learn about the daily lives of local families, the challenges they face, and the incredible resilience, warmth, and sense of community that define the area, right? So you understand the destination on a much deeper level. Iggy, I would like to ask you, what have those communities moments been like for, you know, the group you led so far, and what do you think they matter so much?
Yeah, I feel like perhaps it's the one thing or the one day where it doesn't matter how much you explain to guests what they're going to experience. They can't really fathom, they can't really imagine how it would be. And so when we arrive there, what we do is that morning while everyone relaxes, I'll go out and I'll get some cookies and all sorts of treats that we can to take with. And sometimes some of our guests have brought with pencils and erasers and books and so forth. And we'll take some donations along as well. And when we arrive there, the kids are super excited to see everyone. They all come running out, you know, they're very excited. And generally, if they are ready, they'll do a little concert for us. And so the concert's not necessarily for us as a group. The concert is either for Easter weekend or for Christmas, or any other holiday, and we would be almost like their rehearsal. And it's quite special to see the sort of raw, uncut version of this play, you know, that's going to take place. So everyone is always happy and welcomes you with open arms. Part of your travel fee, traveling with Craig Travel, does go into Theodora Crèche. And it's been very great for myself to see over 4 years the changes, you know, fixing of windows, painting, sand pits, and these kind of things. So it's a very positive experience, and I believe that everyone leaving there that day feels, you know, a little bit fulfilled in a certain way. Many people ask how they can help even more, so they do feel touched by this environment, and yeah, it's heartwarming. It really is heartwarming. It's not really. It's an impoverished community, but the feeling is not a feeling of sadness and hopelessness.
Yeah.
It's a feeling of giving and, you know, and learning, and just sort of also bringing joy in whichever way we can. So it's a beautiful experience, and it's something that the guests really like, and it's something the children really like, most importantly. So yeah, it is one of my favorite stops in the trip as well.
Amazing. Amazing. Thank you. Thank you.
It does sound like a beautiful experience, and I feel like our travelers are very lucky to be part of it, for sure. So after the garden route, we head north to KwaZulu-Natal, and the character of the trip transforms completely. The Isaman-Galiso Wetland Park has the primal ancient atmosphere. You're on a boat and there are hippos surfacing all around you, crocodiles sunning on banks, and birds everywhere. And the Zulu cultural experience at Ghost Mountain Inn is genuinely special. The Zulu people have one of Africa's richest and most distinctive cultures, and spending time in their homeland gives you a real sense of that. Then crossing into Eswatini, one of the last absolute monarchies on earth, feels like entering a truly different world. Iggy, can you tell us about the Zulu experience and what do travelers learn? What do they feel? And what makes Eswatini such a special and often underrated destination?
Yeah, so again, after we leave Knysna and we spent our 2 nights in the garden route, that road that we traveled to get to Port Elizabeth or Berga, where we're going to be flying to the Zulu area, it's also one of the most beautiful drives, and it's also one of those things where they'll be going along all these beautiful mountains and coastlines. So the whole day from beginning to end is almost like it's a complete shift in the landscape, as well as the people, the culture, the feel, even the language. So once we leave the garden route, we get on a plane, we fly for an hour, across the bay to the Indian Ocean side, or a little bit further down, shall I say. And once we land in Durban, it's a different environment. It's tropical, it's a different language, it's just different flow, different feel. And it's almost like an introduction to Zululand. We'll sleep over that night and we'll do a little tour through Durban the next day and tell you a little bit about the Zulu culture, as well as people like Mahatma Gandhi that spend time there before we drive into the Zululand area. And, as Piotr said, which we shouldn't say, there's going to be hippos definitely all around you. But we do drive into Isimangaliso Wetland Park and we do a boat trip with hippos. And I don't think I've ever not seen hippos. So that's a good sign. But yeah, we go out looking for hippos. Luckily, they know where the families live. But I've also learned with wildlife, you got to sort of you take what you get.
Yeah.
But yeah, every single trip we've seen some good hippo sightings. And then from there on, we go over to Ghost Mountain Inn, which is where we'll be staying for 2 nights. And that's it's just nature, and it's raw, and it's beautiful. It's green. It just feels like you've transported into a totally different world. There is Zulu dancers that will come and do traditional dances, and I always tell the people it's not like Disney World. I don't even know where they get these guys from because it's always different guys too. And it's pretty. It's pretty raw, it's
Yeah.
a real deal. So which is great. Yeah, it's also an area where I grew up in Zululand,
Nice.
as a child. So for me, it's also a highlight, traveling back to an area where my family had lived for so long and where I grew up. So I'm always happy to be there. We'll do short game drive one of the days. It's almost maybe like a little introduction into your further game drives later on in the trip. And yeah, what's it? It's crossing into Kingdom of Eswatini. Going from mostly flat, sort of beautiful greenery to quite a mountainous area, and driving through the area can take you a day, so it's not a big country, it's completely landlocked. So what we are doing is we are transferring through Eswatini to get to the opposite side. So the next morning we can go into Kruger Park. But it's definitely a place where people feel that they could have spent a little bit longer at. But happy to go through there also. So yeah, it's a unique place where not a lot of travelers get to experience. I think most people come to South Africa, they do Kruger National Park, they do Cape Town,
Yeah.
maybe Chobe, Victoria Falls, but places like Eswatini, Knysna, and a couple other places we're going to be mentioning later on, as this place that people don't really see. So it's almost like it's little gems along the way.
Love it. Thank you so much. And now, as you mentioned, this is the moment most of our travelers have been dreaming about since they first probably look at the itinerary. The Kruger National Park. We have 2 nights here, which means full days of game drives in open vehicles.
Yes, and the open vehicle is very, very important here. You're not in a closed tour bus. You are literally sitting in an open jeep at eye level with animals. This is a completely different experience, very immersive, intimate, and genuinely thrilling. And Iggy, walk us through a typical morning on those drives. When does the alarm go off? What animal surprises first time most?
Yep. So, look, we always try and leave as early as possible. So, a typical wake up call could be around about 5 a.m., meeting at 5:30 for coffees, and then departing there at around about 5:45, or even earlier if we can. I find that Canadians are extremely punctual. I'm on time, but I'm usually the last one on the bus. But regardless, I'm still on time. But I can feel the excitement. It's palpable. So yeah, we want to get there early. We want to, as Piotr mentioned, the first day we drive through in the coach to get to the other side of Kruger National Park to where we're staying. But the full day of 4x4 game driving is an open vehicle. It is, as you mentioned, you you can smell the animals. You are immersed in the area, and it's different to sitting behind the windows of a bus, obviously for photography, but also I think just feeling the vulnerability, perhaps, could be a good way to describe it, in an open vehicle, and that sort of gets you a bit more in touch with nature. I think a lot of people that we travel with are quite nature conscious. I've seen some of the beautiful areas that our guests stay in, and some of the pictures of Canada and your natural areas. So it's an area where they really enjoy, using their eyes and their ears and their smells and so forth. So it is quite an immersive experience, and yeah, I think that's what most people come for, and hopefully they're not disappointed. It's one of those things where you really can't predict anything. I can tell you'll see impalas, probably a thousand of them, but when it comes to lions and leopards, things like that, it's something that we keep our fingers crossed for. The company that we travel with have multiple vehicles on the ground, so they work and they operate with each other in a communication with radios. So more often than not, if we're not the first person at a sighting, we'll get a radio call from another vehicle, and we can go through to see that animal. So it's the best possible chance to be able to see it when you have that big network of different vehicles. So yeah, it's quite a special day, and I would say we've had good luck. I mean, I can't think of any time we've done a game drive where we've come back feeling that we didn't see what we wanted.
Amazing.
I just love how all the companies are coming together to make sure that the travelers get the best experience on the road. That's fantastic. But unfortunately, we have to leave Kruger National Park, but not really unfortunately, because we're going to another amazing place. And the Blythe River Canyon is one of those places that doesn't get the international attention it deserves. We always talk about the Grand Canyon in the US endlessly, and the Blythe River Canyon is the third largest canyon on Earth. But it's completely different because it's green, lush, tropical, alive.
Yeah, and the Panorama Route is full of incredible viewpoints, and each stop seems better than the last. At God's window, on a clear day, the views stretch all the way towards Mozambique. We also see the 3 rondavels, these amazing rocks formation rising above the canyon. It's one of those days where the views are so beautiful that photos can hardly capture them. Amazing. Now, on our time in Pretoria and Johannesburg gave us a chance to learn more about South Africa history and its people. The country has been through difficult times, but its story is also one of change, strength, and hope. These visits help us better understand the South Africa we see today. Love it.
Yes, and the Apartheid Museum in Johannesburg is generally one of the world's greatest museums. You cannot visit South Africa meaningfully without understanding what happened here. And walking through Soweto, past Mandela's house, through the streets where the 1976 uprising started, is profoundly moving. It's not really dark tourism, it's essential history. I remember when I was visiting all these places a few years ago, and definitely they had a big impact on me. But after Johannesburg and Pretoria, we will fly to Victoria Falls in Zimbabwe. It's one of the seven natural wonders of the world. We fly into Zimbabwe specifically for this, and it is absolutely worth it. The approach is incredible. You hear the roar of the falls from your hotel room. You see the mist rising like smoke above the forest. And then you turn a corner, and there it is, the wall of water, 1.7 kilometers wide, dropping 108 meters. It is genuinely overwhelming. And we're staying at the Victoria Falls Hotel, which opened in 1904 and is itself a piece of history, full of colonial era elegance on its own extraordinary.
Amazing. And then this is our grand finale in terms of game viewing, Chobe National Park in Botswana. 2 full nights. After Kruger, you might think you've seen it all, and then Chobe show you something completely new. What makes Chobe unique is the river. You get game viewing from open vehicles on land and from a boat on the Chobe River. And the elephant population here is staggering, over 120,000. You don't see elephant in ones or two. You see herds of 50, 120 elephants coming down to the river at once. Really stunning.
It is an amazing experience. But let's take a moment to talk about where you'll be staying in Chobe, because Chobe Game Lodge is truly something special and very often the biggest highlight for many travelers. Located inside Chobe National Park, this isn't a lodge where you drive 45 minutes to begin your safari. The wildlife experience starts the moment you arrive. From the boardwalk outside your room, you can relax with a glass of wine while watching elephants wander across the floodplain below. It's an unforgettable setting, especially at sunset, when the light, the wildlife, and the atmosphere come together to create one of those perfect travel moments that our guests talk about for years afterwards. We have a short video to give you a glimpse of what it's like to stay there. We'll show you just the first couple of minutes, but after the webinar, we'll send everyone a link to the full video so you can enjoy the complete experience.
Occupying a vast area of northeastern Botswana, the Chobe National Park is an African icon in wilderness protection and preservation. The majestic Chobe River snakes its way from west to east, forming the northern boundary of the park and the border between Botswana and Namibia, attracting large concentrations of wildlife to its deep, permanent waters. There's only one lodge set on the banks of the Chobe River inside the Chobe National Park. That lodge is Chobe Game Lodge. Let's take a closer look. Guests arriving at the Kasane International Airport are met by the warm smile of the Chobe Game Lodge guide and enjoy a 45-minute road transfer through the park, the very first game drive of their stay. Four-wheel drive is essential for guests wanting to arrive at the lodge by self-drive. Chobe Game Lodge has a long and prestigious history in Botswana. Building first started in 1972, and it was the first 5-star safari lodge of its kind in the country. Completely revamped in 2015, Chobe Game Lodge is the epitome of modern safari luxury. The lodge's expansive common areas include 12 different indoor and outdoor dining locations, 2 bar areas, 1 with a library and a billiard table, multiple spacious lounge areas, beauty spa and gym, and a large swimming pool. A standout highlight at Chobe Game Lodge is the elevated boardwalk. Constructed from recycled and sustainable materials, it spans the length of the property's riverfront. with numerous viewing decks from which to have a sundowner, enjoy a private meal, or watch the wildlife on the floodplains below.
Wow, what a place, Lisa. We can stop here because we don't have that much time to watch the whole video, but it's one of the highlights in Chobe National Park and on the tour itself. I mean, there's so many highlights. There's really hard to choose one, but the Chobe Lodge, like I know that the clients are talking forever about the experience there.
Absolutely. Yeah. Now let's just pause for a moment and appreciate the scope of this journey. It's 23 days, your visit, 4 different countries. So South Africa alone offers so much variety, from the beautiful Cape Town to the wildlife of Kruger National Park. Then we continue to Eswatini with its unique culture and traditions, Zimbabwe, home of the unforgettable Victoria Falls, and Botswana with incredible wildlife and wilderness of Chobe National Park. Each country adds something completely different to the journey. So when you come home and say you visit South Africa, the experience is actually more bigger and richer than just that. Now, one thing that really makes traveling with Craig Travel easy is how much is already included. So your international return flights, accommodation, most meal, excursion, and transfer are all taken care of. You also have the support of our journey leaders and our expert local guide, Iggy, and our team throughout the journey. The idea is simple. We take care of the details so you can focus on enjoying the experience. Now, the small group advantage, 16 passenger, that's the entire group, and it changes everything about the experience. In an open game drive vehicle, you're with your group. You get to, to the front of the queue at every viewpoint. The guy can tailor, what to do each morning and each day based on what the group wants to see, right? So by day 3, you feel like you're traveling with friends. Now, just a reminder, while somewhat easy, this journey features long flights, a number of walks, over uneven ground, some with steps, and some really hot, humid days. So travelers should be physically active to fully enjoy the tour. Hotels are comfortable, roads are good, and the food, as Siggy said, is exceptional. Now, this journey starts from 15,165 per person from Toronto, including international and domestic flights. We offer other getaways, as you can see here. There's also the land-only option for 12,795 per person. So land-only prices exclude all flights and airport transfer. Are you ready to join us? 800 deposit holds your spot, and then final payment is coming up soon on July 15. Again, only 16 spots, so several already taken, so don't miss the chance. Insurance not included, but is highly recommended, and we can help you with that, so don't worry. Please reach out to us after the webinar for a quote. Now, if October of this year doesn't work for you, we got you covered. We already have 2 departures next year, for February 4th, led by Mary Taylor, and March 5th, led by Daphne Danche. Both fantastic time to visit. February's lush summer heat, vibrant and warm. March is the beautiful transition season with spectacular skies. So either way, extraordinary. So don't wait too long, spots are limited. Don't be afraid, reach out to us.
Thank
Wow.
you, Lisa. And one of those more powerful things we can share today is what our past travelers say about their experience. These are real people who chose to travel with us and came back wanting more. So I'll just give it a couple of seconds to read through the testimonials from our past clients. Some of them, they just came back in October last year on a tour, and then there's one traveler from the February departure of 2025. They
just want to flag how Iggy name is always there on our reviews. Is our rock star. Everybody loves Iggy, so
I think like the biggest highlight of the tour is actually having Iggy as our local guide. Not the places, it's Iggy. And like honestly, Iggy, like you were mentioned in so many reviews from our clients, always getting 5 stars. It's incredible. Like we're so lucky to have you as our guide for sure.
Thank you so much.
We become good friends throughout the trip, and it's always we're still on the same WhatsApp groups, so I can still see what's going on back in Canada. So no, it's great. It's always a pleasure.
Amazing. Yeah. And again, I'm very happy to read all our clients' review, really. And we also have another amazing news to share. Our early booking bonus has been extended for all our webinar attendees. So if you book before the final payment on July 15, you can save some extra Canadian dollars, 400 per couple. So don't miss the chance. Now, and when you're ready to book, the process is very simple. You can visit our website to explore the full itinerary and details at craigtravel.com, or call our team directly to speak with one of our traveler specialists, 1-800-387-8890. And deposit will secure your place. And from there, we take care of all the details so you can travel with confidence and simply enjoy the journey.
Thank you so
That's
much
it.
to our guests, Heather, who sent us the video, and our local guide Iggy. Thank you so much for sharing your passion and expertise today. So now we're just gonna open up for questions. So if anyone has any questions, please type in the chat. We'll try to answer as many as possible. I can see there's quite a few questions that already came through. We only have about like 4 or 5 minutes, so we might not get through all of them, but we'll definitely follow up and give you all the answers that you need. So one of the questions here is about the Victoria Falls and the helicopter ride. Is that something that we can accommodate on the tour? And I know, Iggy, you're not coming with us to Victoria Falls, so we'll need to check if this optional activity is possible.
Sorry, just repeat that. Is that about the helicopter ride in Victoria Falls?
Yes.
Yeah. So the guests will have the opportunity to do it. It's something that will be communicated with them before they arrive, and it's something they'll essentially pre-book in advance.
Pre-book.
Yeah, they'll pre-book it, save a spot. They'll bring cash for it. I'll collect the cash. There is a very outside opportunity last minute to do it, but because the spaces get taken up quite quickly, it's recommended to pre-book it. So it is something that gets communicated before the trip, and it's something where people can decide to book it. They'll just bring the cash with. I don't remember how much it is, but I'll collect the cash and it'll be prepaid for them.
Perfect. Yeah. And just let us know. So if you're going on this trip, talk to your sales agent, and we can walk you through the options. Yeah.
Perfect. And I think we actually have our journey leaders for next year watching the webinar right now. I know we have a couple of comments. You just mentioned Mary and Detlef. So they're both watching, and they just
Amazing.
they just said how delighted they are to lead the tour next year. We have a question about the safaris and if there's an access to restrooms during the safari.
Yeah.
I'm reading the same thing now. So yeah, there's definitely access to restrooms. There's.
Yeah.
Okay, so they will have a chance to use it when they need to, which is great.
It's real toilets. Yeah, it's picnic site, so there's real places to use the toilet. Yeah.
We have a question about the solo travelers and the single rooms in the hotels. Are they the same size as the usual room, or they're much smaller just because they're single? From your experience, Iggy, like when you have solo travelers.
From my experience, a lot of times it's the same room, just with a single bed in it, or one double bed. But in saying that, though, some of the places they might be in a smaller room. But out of experience, I think that most of the rooms will be a similar size. And but that one, I'm not 100% sure about. I haven't been to everyone's. Checked out everyone's rooms, but out of my experience, I've seen most of the rooms stay the same, just with one bed.
And we can also assist single travelers about these questions. So for whoever asked this question on the chat, reach out to us and we can check that for you as well, just to give you a better idea throughout the itinerary about the single rooms, for sure.
Yeah. And Iggy, what currency do you advise people to bring? Are we okay with the Canadian dollars, or should we bring USD?
Look, I mean, to be honest, most places you can use your card, right? You can use your credit card. The US dollar does go a long way, especially, when you go over to Victoria Falls and Chobe. Both those countries you can use the US dollar in. In South Africa, you're going to need rands. So if you can bring some rands, and that's mostly if you want to sort of shop on the side of a road, and barter for maybe some small gifts. But within any restaurant or any shopping center or anything like that, people prefer these days to use cards. But I wouldn't discourage you to bring rands and dollars. I think it's important. You might see something on the side of the road. You want, the quick shopping. So yeah, so rands and dollars. But yeah, I mean, I think a card goes a long way too.
Perfect. Yeah. I think we have another good question, I think, Piotr, about vaccinations suggested for South Africa.
Yes. Iggy, do you know if there's any suggested vaccinations? I always say to always go to your travel nurse or consult with your local doctor, because it can depend on your own body and what your ability is. But are there anything that the clients have to get before coming to South Africa?
Not that I'm aware of. I know if you go to Kenya and so forth, you have to take yellow fever shots. So we don't have that in South Africa, Botswana, and Zimbabwe. But in saying that, though, I'm coming more thinking about American clientele also who don't need it. And I'm not entirely sure if Canadian advisories will say you might need to take something. So
Yeah.
as far as I'm concerned, malaria tablets would be the only medication you would bring.
Yeah. And again, as Piotr mentioned, speak to your doctor or the travel vaccination clinics here in Canada for a more up-to-date, list and suggestion for vaccination.
Yeah. And we have time for one more question. I know there's many questions actually came in, but I promise we'll get to all of them in the follow-up email later today. So Iggy, one more question for you. Are there any night safaris?
Yeah, there's I think in Chobe, when you return from your game drive, you do your game drive, you do a sundowner, that becomes essentially a night safari. So but personally, I think they're a little bit overrated, to be honest. You sometimes go out at 10 o'clock at night if you're in a smaller game reserve, but you see exactly the same stuff as you would have seen, as I said, as you're returning from your sundowner. So it's not strictly a night game drive, but there will be times where you'll be driving and looking for nocturnal creatures, and that's more towards Chobe.
Perfect. Thank you so much. And I think we're just running out of the time. So thank you so much, everyone, for joining us today. South Africa is waiting. We have 3 rooms for the October departure and a few more rooms for February and March next year. And it's absolutely worth it. So if you have any questions, you're ready to book, please reach out to us and our team will help you out. Thank you so much, Lisa and Iggy, for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Have a great rest of your day, everyone. Bye.
Okay.
Bye.